This is the Willy-ai lab, your main working environment. Let's start by going over the key buttons and fields on this screen, and then we'll move on to creating your first report. On the left, you'll find a collapsible panel that provides access to all key features, along with the main settings. The Lab tab takes you to the main workspace. The Templates tab opens the area where you can create and import your templates. The Settings tab leads to a detailed menu where you can customize your experience. The History tab gives you access to all your previously generated reports. The Billing tab shows your subscription and billing details. Here you can see the account you're currently signed in with, and you can sign out by clicking here. You can also choose your reporting language. Click the option to view and select from the list of available languages. The System option lets you choose between light and dark mode. The Start Recording button is what you press to begin recording. On the right, you also have the option to record from your phone. Useful if a microphone isn't available or for creating reports on the go, such as during surgical work. The Comparison Mode button splits your input area into two sections. In the first section, you dictate findings from the current study. In the second, labeled Previous Report, you can paste an earlier approved report for comparison. We'll go through each tab and setting in separate videos to explore their features in more detail. To understand how Willy-ai generates reports, it's important to first understand the philosophy behind the system. In simple terms, Willy-ai combines your free text dictation with your personal templates to produce a single, structured report. This is your automatic template selector. When you first log in, you'll have just one template available. Your first step should be to import your own templates. We'll show you how to do that in the next video. Selecting No Template will organize your findings without any templates. Click the Generate button after finishing your dictation. Your report gets generated on the right. Next, copy your report to the clipboard by pressing this button and paste it into your reporting system. Let's generate our first report. The first time you click Start Recording, you'll be asked to allow microphone access, so click Allow while visiting the site. Computer tomography of the head without contrast media. Medical history, evaluation of headache. There is a right frontal subdural collection measuring up to 8 mm with heterogeneous hyperdensity consistent with acute and chronic subdural hematoma. There is a mild mass effect on the adjacent brain parenchyma without midline shift. Add that we are comparing to a previous study from March 22, 2024. There is a mild dilation of the ventricular system and the sulci consistent with mild brain atrophy. Right chronic thalamic infarct. Note that the subdural hematoma is new compared to the previous study. We've now finished dictating our positive findings. Notice that the system has automatically selected the correct template, CT head, without contrast. It was able to do this based on what we dictated at the beginning, along with the study context. After the template is selected, click the Generate Report button and watch the magic happen. The full structured report is generated on the right. So let's go over the report. CT head without contrast, indication, evaluation of headache. Although I have dictated the comparison study in the middle of my dictation, it correctly identified and placed it in the right location. The technique is inserted correctly from my template. Let's look at the findings. Right frontal subdural collection measuring up to 8 mm with heterogeneous hyperdensity consistent with acute on chronic subdural hematoma with mild mass effect on the adjacent brain parenchyma without midline shift. Right chronic thalamic infarct, mild dilation of the ventricular system and the sulci. And it inserted all the negative findings from my template, such as normal differentiation of grey and white matter, no suspicious osseous lesions, and other negative findings. It also automatically generated an impression. Right frontal acute on chronic subdural hematoma, new compared to the previous study, and mild brain atrophy with right chronic thalamic infarct. All that's left to do now is copy the report to your clipboard and paste it into your reporting system. Now let's see what happens when, instead of using a template, we select No Template. In this case, the system will organize your findings without applying any template. When you click Generate, the report is created in a different format. Here you can see sections such as comparison technique and your positive findings. There is a right frontal subdural collection measuring up to 8 mm with heterogeneous hyperdensity consistent with an acute and chronic subdural hematoma. This exerts a mild mass effect on the adjacent brain parenchyma. No midline shift is identified. Compared to the previous study, the subdural hematoma is new. Mild dilation of the ventricular system and the sulci consistent with mild brain atrophy. A right chronic thalamic infarct is noted. The impression includes right frontal acute and chronic subdural hematoma, mild brain atrophy, and a right chronic thalamic infarct. In essence, the system has taken your free dictation and organized it into a structured report, without relying on a predefined template. Let's quickly review this basic workflow. Start by pressing the Start Recording button. Always begin by stating the type of study. This helps the system select the most relevant template. Dictate freely, including the indication, findings, comparison, and any other details. Think of it as speaking to a highly capable assistant, like a senior radiology resident, who will turn your dictation into a report. At any point, you can ask to modify findings, request a differential diagnosis, or add or remove sections. Try to speak naturally, as if you're talking to a person rather than a computer. When you're finished, press Stop Recording, then generate the report. Make sure the correct template was selected, or choose one manually if needed. This concludes the basic training on using the lab and generating reports. In the next videos, we'll cover in detail how to manage your templates, add personalized custom instructions, tailor the system to your specific needs so that every report is generated exactly the way you prefer. Please note that there's no need to include patient identification details while dictating. The system automatically omits them and does not store any identifying information, as it isn't required for report generation.